99.3 Nigeria Info Lagos. Good morning to you. Welcome to Dailies today, the second part. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
I'm Jimi. Disu. Good morning.
Righty, let's start the show. We have the Guardian here. That's where we're starting from. Page 7 of the Guardian. Unruly behavior, NCAA blacklist Ayinde, petitions for criminal charges.
Wasu he hasn't had it cool. The whole of yesterday he was trending anyway. The latest that we have here is that the NCAA has petitioned the Attorney General of the Federation and the Inspector General to launch a thorough investigation into the incident involving Wasu Ayinde, known as K1 The Ultimate, and the domestic airline Value Jet. I also heard from the grapevine that Value Jet might also be suing him. Yes, they might be suing him for wasting time and so on and so forth. That is another thing entirely. So they've made the petition. There was something making the rounds about the law, what the law says about stopping aircraft and so on and so on. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that. Yesterday, the Minister for Aviation also said that he issued a statement and said he had told or he had advised the NCAA to put him on a no-fly list for a minimum of 6 months. But there's something there. One release actually said that until the investigation is concluded. Wasu Ayinde tried to put up a fight yesterday. His spokesperson, Kunle Rashid, who's like a media aide to him, explained that his principal and his personal and that the principal and his special assistant were the victims, and that this narrative is not only exaggerated but also misleading. Excuse me. We saw the video. Mm-hmm. We saw how he ducked. In fact, now that I took a second look at the video, the second there was another person who ducked, and that I suppose was his PA. He put that one's life at risk too. So there's no point issuing. Look, see, I handled PR practice for close to 10 years, I think. Handled big accounts. And sometimes you tell your client, if I had been very close to Wasu, immediately yesterday I would have issued an apology. Honestly, it would have been honorable of him. That, I misunderstood a lot of things. He would issue an apology, and maybe it would have died down a bit. But knowing the kind of group that he runs around with, they'll be urging him on. Who the hell is he? This and that and that. And there will be consequences, because guess what? It appears the public were completely outraged about this incident. You need to have been close to the social media yesterday. Now, being on the no-fly list means it can't appear at any airport, local or international. I've been advised, I'm going to have Olumide at 9 o'clock, but I've been advised by some people that if care is not taken, it might apply to other airports worldwide. I'll clear that with Olumide at 9. I want to keep the suspense till I ask him at 9 o'clock. So that is what has happened. The Daily Trust has a full page, Kwamon's journey to no-fly list, and they list all kinds of one or two embarrassing things that have happened to him. As usual, our minister will get a bit more gregarious. That any airline that flies him will lose your license. You have already put the man on the no-fly list. There's no need to add that. If you don't fly, you lose your license. Once somebody is on the no-fly list, he's not going anywhere. He can't even be processed. Festus Keyamo should. And another thing, I need to be educated whether it was the minister who should place him on the no-fly list or the NCAA. I'd just like to clear that bit. Because I know that we must professionalize our bodies. If it now gets to a minister, you're making it more important than it normally should be. I would have thought the minister would quietly advise them, but not come publicly to say, I've told them. But that's another story for another time, and there's no need to start threatening that anybody will lose his license and so on and so forth. Professor Skayamo still has this, it still needs to be a bit less gregarious. This is not a looter. Okay, so anyway, he has a long statement, and I'm wondering if it hadn't been Wasiu, he would first be making any announcement and so on and so forth. I wonder. It's important that we don't make people too important than they really are, because when it comes to issues of law, there are no exceptions. The only exceptions are those who have immunity. Okay, so sometimes one of the things you do is you try to make them more important than they really are. It's a mindset that we have to change in this country, where some people just feel that they are above the law, but we're a long way from that. So the trust has a full page of it. It talks about the menace of unruly conduct, and then there's the security implications. For me, an accident was avoided because from the video that I saw, honestly, we would have had a Wasiu without a head to contend with. All said and done, this particular case, we'll analyze it more at 9 o'clock when Olumide comes on board, and we'll also use the opportunity to highlight the fact that we haven't heard anything about the Oshiomhole case. These two cases are very, very important. I'm hoping that a lot of people will learn from this. I also don't know whether that no-fly list has anything to do with going on a private jet. But I don't think so, because private jets, in any case, it says the airport. It doesn't say, I don't think it would refer to private jets. But all said and done, that's where we are now.
Before we move on from that story, I saw the statement put out by his PR person, and he says something with regards to the fact that his principal wasn't at fault, particularly because if his principal was at fault, the NCAA, the fan, and even the owner of the MD/CEO of ValueJet will not be calling to be begging him,
and to that they even wanted to charter,
give him a private jet.
Now it behoves on both the NCAA and the ValueJet to take this gentleman on. They have to take him on. If it turns out that what he said is false, I advise that they go to court, because it's very, very significant. You saw it. Yes. The part that I said is they were even ready to. I mean, where is all this coming from? I don't know. Where is all this coming from? It could easily have been. And if that's why, again, we tell people like Wasiu to have experienced PR persons. A very experienced PR person will tell him this case is very, very bad. I think a public apology will suffice, and then just go into seclusion, go hide your head somewhere until it cools down. He could have done that. Look, the incident of we have a video now of the flask when he boarded an Arik airline. Maybe Arik, they decided not to, but you had a flask. If you were told to come, you could easily have given it to the reporter and said, look, help me hold the flask 1 hour till they get to Lagos. You could easily have said, okay, let me throw away the contents of the flask, and you take your flight and go. This will serve, I hope will serve as an example to our so-called elite, though her Excellency, I won't tell you which of them, told me that I should stop calling some of these people elite. Former deputy governor said, Jimi, stop referring to these people as elite. Yes, ma'am.
Let's go to our next story in the Vanguard, page 5. Heavy floods to hit 198 LGs. That's local government in 31 states, federal government ones.
Yeah, okay. This story again is to highlight the fact that if you know that your area is if you know that the area suffered these floods and so on and so forth, you better move to higher ground. There's nothing more to be said about it. It's also important for people to know that floods are not peculiar to Nigeria. It happens all over the world. If you watch CNN, you see what happened in Texas. It makes the flood we are talking about child's play. But part of the flood we have in this country is the lack of discipline of some of our people, not following the plan, not following so on and so forth. But the most important thing, try to save your life and save your as much of your valuables that you can, and make sure that you move to a higher ground before the rains do come back. They'll be back anytime from now. From what I can see here, there's hardly any state that will not be affected by the flood. So you should know where you live, know what is likely to happen, and do the needful.
Right. To page 9 of the Vanguard, Nigeria may break up before 2027 if Wondo.
Yes, sometimes it always sounds like a threat. Sometimes you hear people say, Nigeria is going to break. Even the American government once said that Nigeria will break in 2015. It didn't. Again, they said Nigeria will break in 2020 or whatever. It didn't. But I think the reason why I'm highlighting this story, otherwise it's a political statement, and Chief Wodo is just another politician, really. But I think the reason why I want to highlight this so is that we are stretching the country. Yesterday, I had the misfortune of listening to one of the news on one of the networks, and I heard the story of what happened at WAEC, where the credibility of the WAEC exam we have for this year is in doubt. I mean, that's a fundamental problem. It is said that there was a glitch. Some said the glitch had to do with the results. Another person said the glitch had to do with the wrong answers, trying to place one, I think in a bid to avoid rigging. Not rigging, cheating. Mm-hmm. They tried to juggle the whatever. In the process, everything has been muddled up. If you have this kind of thing, plus the other problems that we are contending with, surely, if we are not careful, our country can break up. I hope it doesn't. It's no good to anybody for our country to break up, because when it breaks up, it's going to break into various fragments. That I can assure you. Those who think that, for example, if Nigeria breaks up, you are going to have Biafra or Dudua Republic, they have another thing coming. In Ijebu alone, the Remos and the whatever are fighting themselves over creation of state and so on and so forth. So we need to be very, very careful. What is holding this country together is thinner than the strings you get from a cobweb. We need to be very, very careful. So I'm not placing so much on a political statement. That sounds a bit like a threat. But that in reality, look at now. We found ourselves at a political junction where we are thinking of going to bring a man we ousted about 10 years ago. We want to bring him back again. I mean, that shows that our society is becoming totally degenerate. So this is a wake-up call to those who those that it matters to, those who hold the tripod where the whole circle is lying on. We need to be very, 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 very careful. Very careful. Look at this news just right below it now. The secretary to the government said that his voice was cloned. Eh? He said WAEC apologizes over technical glitches in WASC 2025 result. Okay, you apologize. What are you going to do to bring back the credibility of the exam? Are you going to ask students to retake that exam? Remember that this same WAEC exam, some guys took it late at night. Very, very late at night. It's not the same WAEC that I did. You know? And so now what is going to happen, what I suspect will happen, is that for you to go further, what I suspect will happen is that if you want to get a job, if you want to go to a higher institution or whatever, an additional examination will have to be done. And if care is not taken, our certificates will not be recognized in the world. I remember this country that I belonged to when I did my A-levels. I got admission to an American university, and I was exempted for 1 year. Instead of doing 4 years, they said I could do 3 because I had A-levels. I just wrote them a letter. I want you to close your eyes and remember that this was not the time of internet or whatever. I just wrote a formal letter that I have A-levels, attended the certificate, and as soon as the reply comes, said, fine. But the way we are going, very soon the Nigerian WAEC, whatever, will not be recognized. And that will be sad. Now, I found in another story concerning this WAEC that students now have to concentrate on NECO. That hopefully NECO would retain its credibility. The credibility of this year's WAEC results for me is now in doubt. I don't know how we are going to get out of that. The president has to declare a state of emergency with the Ministry of Education, and they have to find a solution to this problem.
You know, the underlying factor that I think that we're not even focusing on in the fact that it seems technologically we're still a bit like a million miles away from what is obtainable. Similar thing happened to Jam. Now WAEC. And then we have been clamoring for, and we recall what happened in 2023 elections and all of that. And people have been clamoring for electronic voting. I mean, with all of these things happening from just results and all of these things, do you suppose we can handle live voting process electronically?
I'm one of those who believe that we need to devise things we can handle. Nigeria should go back to Operation A4. That is what we can handle. 1, 2, 3, 4. You count it, you sign it. Don't let's deceive ourselves. We couldn't upload B-Rev, I-Rev. We can't handle these things. They're subject to one, manipulation. They're subject to ineffectiveness itself of the systems that you need to arrive at the proper conclusion. Look at what you just said. WAEC, JAMB. Look at what you just said. So why do you think electronic voting will be different? Why? The only successful election we have had, which unfortunately was annulled, was the one that was very basic. What we are doing is that we can only, instead of going to buy a simple Japanese car that can move from point A to point B, we go and buy high technology German cars or British cars that have sensors and everything. That's what we are doing. We are far behind. We are not anywhere near where we can get anything near perfect. Don't let's deceive ourselves. As far as I'm concerned, though, if it might sound crude, it might sound anything, Operation A4 that we had, you will count it ourselves. So 1, 2, 3, you sign, I sign, everybody goes home. Bam.
All right. Let's go to the front page of the Guardian.
Yes, front page of it had some stories. I just want to highlight them very quickly. It says over 83 million Nigerians live on less than 3,100 daily. Oxfam says over 83 million. Then NLC, SERAP, YLC, Fault Shuore is in detention again. He has his beef with the IG, and then there's a beef with Sahara reporters who reported allegedly that the IG had a mistress and so on and so forth. That case is going on. Of course, Sahid Abi, what's the man's name himself? Kwamwon, his own story is there. Another story that caught my attention. Listen to this, ladies. Listen to this. If you are talking on the phone, switch off your phone and listen. It's talking about toxic braids. And it says cancer fertility risk trail Nigeria's $429 million synthetic hair obsession. Let me put it to you point blank. There is an idea strong as it is, that some of the braids that you use might be toxic. All these braids that human hair, yes, hair extension. So you need to be very, very careful. You need to be very, very careful. And the Guardian has done a full page story on that. You know, there's a big risk. I wouldn't say more than that. It's up to you. We talk about bleaching cream, and women have not stopped. In fact, the latest one the latest one I saw about bleaching is that you can tear off your skin the way you know when your car comes from America, then the front is tinted, and then you peel off. That's the way some of our women. Why they want to be fair, I don't know, but today's not there with me. There is not. Then another story here: ADC knocks PDP over, moves to Woobi. Claims party has lost influence. Let them continue to abuse themselves. They will come with something. None of our business. When they come with the candidates, will know what to do. Then the WAEC story is there, and it says here. Listen to this one. It's very, very significant. 151 new parties indicate interest. Submit forms, says INEC. I can almost tell you where half of these parties are coming from. And these parties are going to divide votes. It's a fantastic strategy. These 151 parties are going to divide votes. They will get 200,000 here, 100,000 here. So the votes against the APC will be divided along the line. And, okay, we shall see. That's likely to happen. Then another, it says that 300 repentant terrorists undergoing rehabilitation. Now, what we are doing here is causing a lot of ripples within the system. You capture repentant terrorists and even pay them better than the guys who captured them. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, so that's what you have on the front page. I thought would bring your attention to.
All right, let's go to page 15 of The Guardian. Danger to public morality.
Yes, this is written, it's a column in The Guardian called Abdul Rafiu. I suspect I know who writes the column, but I won't do that. But he's a very matured person, well over 80. My senior in the profession writes this column. And he takes the president, he takes him on to look at the morality behind giving both the footballers and the basketballers that kind of amount of money. It's something along the line of what this lady wrote on in the Punch, I think on Wednesday, Adelakun. So he too takes the president on and talks about the morality. He believes is a full page. Egbon does that very well. He's a full page, and he believes very strongly that we cannot continue to throw money at certain things, as a way to keep it going. Adelakun was less respectful in the use of her language. He says that the impression is being unwittingly created that the language of a national service is money. When you make an appointment, it's money. Money. Money has become the God that we worship. Even in our churches, in our mosques, everywhere, it's all about money. How God would make you, what's the word that they use now? We know it's because we are running out of time.
Yes, let's go to page 28. Police warn promotion lobbyists amid calls against interference in civil disputes.
Yes, this Zedi Adeyanju is a lawyer. It's not so much who he is, but what he's saying. That the police have to warn their members to stop interfering in civil disputes. If you are owing your landlord or whatever, the landlord goes to reprise a petition against you. Police, the DPO will call you. That one will call you. Police are supposed to send people with their civil disputes, unless it becomes untoward. You send them away to go to their lawyers and go and settle it. Not that you now inviting somebody, oh yes, there's a petition written against you. Somebody said you are owing him 200,000. What is police matter in that? There is a very thin line now between what is civil and what is criminal. and I think we need the services of a lawyer to see. There's something I listened to Itwa Godalo yesterday. He interviewed Falana. And one thing that I found quite exciting is that Itwa, along with Falana, and I think I might join them, are trying to find a way by which we will be educating people monthly about what their rights are supposed to be. But I always tell you, there is what should be and that what is. As far as I'm concerned, in Nigeria, presently, you don't have any rights at all. You are at the mercy. If I should go and report that, I think that this shirt you are wearing is mine. Yes. Go to write it.
That is yours.
And it's good to send it.
What is wrong?
It's good to send it on a Friday. Monday. They have been looking at this. This one looks funny. What's like that?
What is wrong with wearing your shirts now?
There's nothing wrong, but I just want to be wicked. I write the petition on the Friday. Wow, Mugari the Monday.
I'm a jaddy.
Oh, the daddy man. If you phone a commissioner, I will phone DIG. If you phone,
and I'll phone IG.
I will phone chairman police commission. Nonsense.
I'll phone SGF.
I'll phone my cousin, chief of staff. Yeah, let's go. You don't know the president.
I don't know the president.
Oh, Nigerians matter. If you don't laugh at these things, sometimes you would just go crazy. Thank you very much, Jerry.
Thank you, sir. Lagos, thank you for joining us. Kofi is back with the morning crossfire. Stay here with us, please.
7 p.m. Don't knock.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.